Okay. This session is to present by Siva-Krishna on migrating the patient data through ETL process from legacy system to the Azure Data Factory. It is a solution demo. Basically, he planned to show the solution demo with benefits and how it can be done. He also came up with a solution using Azure Data Factory. He is going to take over to present this particular session. Okay. Yeah, Siva, you can take and start your presentation.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my name is Siva-Krishna. So this is my LinkedIn profile. So you can see here. So currently I'm working as a freelancer, as a digital marketer. So where I wanted to shift into software IT. So that's where I learned the new skills, upgraded. So I'm been upgrading for the past 1 year. So you can see my profile here. And also I have done some of the proof of concepts in AWS and Azure using the IAC. Here you can show my skills here in GitHub repository. So these are my some of the proof of concepts on about JSON YAML file scripting, how to debug like reverse engineering. Then also in chatbot, AWS issues, data preparation, and also chatbot design. Then some of the POCs from AWS and also from Azure also, majorly in the context of IAC. So you can show here, you can able to see and you can able to understand all of this. And today I'm going to discussing about the solution demo. So about the migrating patient data ingestion and through the ETL pipeline. So by using this Azure Data Factory. So this is like a comprehensive and solution design. So you can see here my coach profile, LinkedIn. Then you can go through it later. So I'll start with my agenda today. So today the agenda is about for this solution demo, the introduction about what is the introduction and what is the user requirements, what is the pain point of user requirement, and what is the user story, then the demo objective. So what is the goal and primary objective for doing this proof of concept and ADF, Azure Data Factory, and also the current system overview, what are the existing system and how you overcome with this by introducing this Azure Data Factory. So how this Azure Data Factory will solve this problem. Then what is the migration steps? What is the migration plan? So how you are going to solve this through the step-by-step process. Then what are the security measures you want to consider while migrating this plan? Then also what are the benefits of migration through when compared with previous like legacy of data? Then what are the challenges and risk mitigations are involved in this process? So, and conclusion, all of these things we are going to see now. So I'll start with the introduction today. I think now you can able to see, right, in full screen. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So the introduction is about, so what is the business and healthcare impact? While considering, I'm considering the healthcare. So why this POC is important for the healthcare industry? Basically, the problem nowadays is, so many hospitals will store the patient data in different formats and in different locations, like in on-premises databases, in the form of CSV files, then in the form of flat files like APIs and JSON format. So the challenges involved in this problem statement is there are like many data inconsistency while storing in different formats, and also it will take a lot of time manual integration to store the data in different locations, and there is a very difficulty in sharing the records. If I want to any emergency case for a patient, so it is very difficult to track the and access that particular patient data immediately. So this is my problem statement. So now I'm going to solve this problem by my solution overview. So basically, what I get the benefit out of this solution. Basically, the first one is better patient outcomes. So if I using this solution demo, so I'll able to access the real-time access data of the patient particularly, so that doctor can able to give the better treatment to that particular patient. So it, and also it is very easy to access the data from the centralized system. And the second one is regulatory compliance. Basically, this healthcare data must compile with this health insurance accountability and this data regulatory. So this we need to follow this regulatory compliance while developing this solution. And also the third one is, so instead of going through the legacy, so here we are using the Azure Data Factory, where this ETL process will eliminate this all manual data collection, storing, and data transformation. So it will eventually it will save our time and resources as well. And the fourth one is predictive analytics. So by following this process, so you will get a structured data warehouse where it is stored in a centralized repository, so that the hospitals or even anyone can doctor analyze these trends, and they will able to predict the diseases, whether this will harm or disease, so and optimize this resource allocation as well, so that it will help to the patient and as well as doctor, so predict for the prediction. And the fifth one is interoperability. So basically, these different hospitals will use different electronic health record systems. So they are taking the data from these electronic health records and also in offline. So that it is very difficult to make the and access the data from one centralized. So these are the outcomes we'll get while developing this solution. So now we will see this user requirement. So first we need to understand this user needs basically, like who needs this solution. If I want to tell about the user requirement, basically these healthcare organizations that have been struggling with so many days, like with managing all these large kind of volume data, patient data across multiple sources, like different sources. So my scenario is about, so how we managing this patient data in healthcare system. So basically we are collecting the data initially, like from electronic health records stored in SQL like database, and the insurance details also we will receive from via APIs from insurance providers. Then the lab test results also from external diagnostic centers. That it is in the form of CSV files. Then previously, this hospital's data team had a manually doing the extract data from these various sources. Then they are going to clean it, like doing the removing the duplicates, then fixing the any missing values and integrating it into the centralized system. So all this process will take a lot of time and a very slow process, and it will delay the whole entire generating. It will delay the whole time, and it is not accurate also for the patient data. So by using this, my key requirements, automated ETL pipeline, so that it will help to the users eliminate the manual data handling and errors. So it will extract the data from like different sources, and it will like seamless data integration. So it will integrate with the patient data from different sources like SQL databases, APIs, and CSV files. Then it will do this data standardization and cleaning. So it will also, once it will connect into the ADF, it will remove the whatever the duplicates are happening in the multiple data sources if it is found, and also if any missing values are there, then it will clean everything data, and it will give proper structured data. Then real-time analytics. This once the data is very cleaned and structured way, then we'll load this process data into a centralized healthcare database where you can access from any doctors or nurses, any administrator will access this particular data of the patient. And while we're also following this security and compliance, so that the patient data is very insecure way. So these are the key requirements. And the third one is user story. So basically, if consider where any hospital IT administrator. So basically, the problem is where the patient records are scattered or distributed in across various multiple hospitals. So which makes us very hard to get a complete medical history in real time. So for that, we need a solution like as a in the context of hospital IT administrator. So he wanted one automated system so that will extract and consolidate the patient records from different sources, so that even doctors can access this accurate patient data so instantly for better treatment to take the decisions for the patients, so that it will help us, and it will also reduce the time as well. This is all about user story. So the primary objective goal of this POC is developing POCs. So how this Azure Data Factory will automate the patient data ingestion, then data transformation and data storage by ensuring it will give the real-time data accessibility and the security and compliance access. So what we will demonstrate in this demo is, so basically we are following the ETL process, like extracting and injecting data by connecting this Azure Data Factory to on-prem databases, APIs, and CSV files. After that, we are going to transforming and cleaning the data. So once we extracting the data, now we are going to do some business like logic transforming and cleaning the data, whatever the duplicates values are available and any missing values. So we are going to do some business like business function on the data, so that we need to make a standardized patient data in the form of a name, date, and diagnosis, all that. The third one is once we transformed the data, then the structured data, we are going to loading the data into the Azure Synapse Analytics. So why we are going to do this? Because this will give the analytics and of the patient records for easy access and for easy understanding also. Then the fourth one is visualizing insights in Power BI. So with the help of this Power BI dashboards, we can able to see the data in the form of pictorial representation in the dashboards. And also we will make ensuring following this security and compliance of this. So the fifth one is current system overview. So what are the challenges or involved in the existing system? So basically, like as we discussed earlier, so scattered data sources because of many patient records are spread across in different hospitals and locations. So it is stored in a different formats. So it will take a lot of time to process all this, and also the manual data process. So once we have data, so this is not enough to make the processing. So this hospital staff will have to do manually collect the data, cleaning the data, and merge all the different sources of data into one place. So which will take a lot of time, effort. Then no real-time insights. So if I want to take a in emergency case the patient of data, so it is very difficult to collect out the particular patient data within a very less time. So even doctors and the healthcare teams do not get these instant updates on patient records, so that it will even it is very dangerous to lose that patient also. So why, and also the in the context of security and compliance issues, so this sensitive data we must follow these rules or security rules. And in the existing system, this is one of the high operational cost as well. So because we are all doing with the manual process, so it lot of requires like more staff, and the cost of the process is very high. If you take one example of, so a hospital with network like with 10 plus branches, so they are struggling like to consolidate the patient records. Suppose if a patient moves from one hospital to another branch, so the doctors cannot able to see the old records of the patient data instantly, because the data is scattered in a different source, like in different locations. So it is taking time. So for that, we are going to develop the solution with the help of Azure Data Factory. So why we are using Azure Data Factory for this? What is the Azure Data Factory basically? Basically, this is a cloud-based ETL tool. So it will help us to extract the data, like a data injection, then data transformation, then data orchestration. So it will connect the multiple like data sources, hospitals, and extract the patient data. Then it will clean it, then it will standardize, then it will finally store in a central data warehouse. So this is the place where we can access the data easily. So why we are using this Azure Data Factory? Because this is a pipeline like ETL pipeline. So there is no need to like taking the manual data for storing the collection and cleaning. So it will take care of this Azure Data Factory pipeline will take care of that. Then broad connectivity also. So it has some features like it will support on-premises databases, cloud storage, then REST APIs, then different informats data sets, and even IoT also. So it will support all of these different data sources. Then the third one is data standardization. Because once we are taking the data, we are collecting data, then it will converts all this raw data, patient data into a structured format by eliminating any missing values and any errors. So it will compatible with this data standardization, so that we will get the transformed required data. So after that, we are going to see like real-time processing also, because this pipeline once trigger in the batch mode. So batch mode is nothing but we are taking the large data at one time. We'll run the pipelines. So it will give like real-time near real-time data, so that it will help us to take the decisions based on that data, patient data. So and also built-in security, because we are using the cloud. Cloud is it's a very secure place, so that this Azure Data Factory will help us even in the security perspective. So that we need to follow the role-based access, because for this role-based access, we need to like doctors can able to see the patient data. So for nurse, some different role-based access is there. For receptionist, so there is some role-based access is there for the accessing the patient data. Because here you can see example scenario, because a hospital using ADF can instantly access the patient medical history, even if they visited multiple branches, different branches, because here we are storing in a centralized data warehouse. So, okay, as we discussed like Azure Data Factory, how it works and how it solves the problem. Now, how will we migrate these patient records to the Azure cloud? So these are the steps we need to follow by migrating from the on-premises to the cloud. So basically, step one is we need to set up the Azure SQL database to store our patient records. Then we need to connect the different data sources to the Azure Data Factory. So once we created Azure storage account, we store the patient records. The next one is we need to connect to data sources like on-premises and CSV files. Then we need to extract the data. So here the actual ETL process will begin. So it will pull the patient data from different sources. Then it will extract the data. Then the fourth one is it will transform the data by fixing the values and removing the duplicate anything. And finally, it will give a transformed updated with a correctly proper data. Then it will load the data into the particular Azure Synapse Analytics, where it will store in a centralized data warehouse. Then finally, we are going to analyze this data in Power BI dashboards while connecting from the Azure cloud, so that it will help us doctors and administrators can access the data and analyze the data easily. So the next one is security measures. So while developing this solution, so how do we protect the sensitive of the patient data? So there are the four major things we need to discuss. So let's say one like a scenario, basically. So a hospital like stores thousands of patient records, like including medical history, phone numbers, then like address and insurance details without proper security measures. So there might be some like in general way, there might be like hackers could steal this patient data while accessing unauthorized staff might access these confidential medical records, right? So in that case, these personal details could be exposed by violating this uh, health insurance, profitability and accountability, and the general data regulatory compliance. So by following this data encryption, so that patient records are encrypted both in transit and at rest. Then also we need to follow the role-based access control, so that only the authorized persons or doctors or a staff can access this patient data. So without this, they can't even access anything. And data masking, like the patient personal details like phone number, then address. So they should be hidden from the unauthorized users. So there is no need to take the from that. And also while following these guidelines, so that it will make ensure these hospitals will follow the legal security standards for that patient data. And what are the benefits you are getting migration? So why we need to move to the Azure Data Factory? So what is the primary motive of this? Because in like legacy way, uh, as we discussed, like there is a lot of manual process involved while collecting the data and storing the data in different locations. But while using the Azure Data Factory, there is no manual data handling here. So it will automated, we can set up the automated pipeline so that it will take the data and it will reduce the errors. And also faster access to the patient records. So even doctors can able to instantly access and retrieve the past medical history of the patient data with the help of this Azure Data Factory. Then improved healthcare analytics. So even the hospitals can track the diseases trends. So how the person like disease trends and the patient demographics also and the treatment success rate by using this Azure Data Factory. And also finally, we will reduce the cost savings so that the hospital's maintenance also we will reduce by using this Azure Data Factory. And what are the challenges and mitigation strategies involved here? Is basically the potential challenges here is so data format differences, because we are storing the data manually in different ways, like in the CSV format, in the APIs. So that we need to data mapping and data standardization, we need to solve the potential challenges by using this ADF so that it will convert the all patient data into a structured format. Then also we have large data volumes potential challenge. So because of millions of patient records need to be processed manually, for that we are using the ADF pipelines. So we can optimize these Azure Data Factory pipelines, so that we can able to process any kind of large volumes of data can easily with the help of Azure Data Factory pipelines. And the third one is compliance and privacy risk. So basically in manual process, so the patient data not a very confidential, but with the help of this, by following the security best practices in cloud, so that we can able to access the role based access control, then it will help us to make improved security for this patient data. So it will prevent the data breaches from the hackers outside. And this is the overall of the solution. And the conclusion is, so what are the key takeaways you are considering while developing this solution? So here mainly we are using Azure Data Factory. So it will solve the manual process, and it will automate the patient data injection, then data transformation, then data orchestration with the help of ETL process. After that, we are going to take the Azure Synapse Analytics because it provides a improved data data accessibility and analyzability, and it will store in a centralized healthcare data storage where we can access it easily. Then the third one is Power BI, because we are connecting we are able to see all the data in the BI dashboards by connecting it from the Azure data, so that it will give the real-time access of the data, so that we can able to see and will take the decisions based on this data. And by following the scalability and the security, so these are the major advantages of while moving from manual process to the cloud migration. Yes, this is all about for Azure, how we solve this problem in the healthcare domain. So this is my coach profile. So you can see here now. So that's all about today solution demo for this healthcare domain patient data.
Okay, so it's a very good presentation, solution presentation you have given it. You can stop sharing this screen. Now I have a question. If you want to implement this, what are the activities you are going to do that in POCs or capstone project?
So yes, basically we need data basically, like in CSV format or in JSON format. So for that, once we have the test data, then in Azure we are going first. We need to create Azure storage account for the storage of this data basically. So once we store the data, then we are going to create one Azure Data Factory. So where in Azure Data Factory, we need to create one pipeline. So in that pipeline, we need to configure the task data tasks. So copy the data, then where it actually the ETL process starts in the Azure Data Factory pipeline. So once after taking the raw data, then cleaning the raw data, it will like removing the duplicate values and missing values. We're all loading the data into the transformed way. So after the ETL process completed, then we are going to take this data into the in case we can use Azure Databricks also for analyzation. But here we are using Azure Synapse Analytics, where you you can able to analyze the data and you will take the decisions. Then finally, we are using Power BI dashboards. So once we are connecting the Power BI dashboards to the Azure data by clicking connectivity, then we can able to see which kind of data it is. Then based on the data, we can able to take the decisions.
Good, good, very good. End-to-end activities you have explained very detailed way. So now, once your setup is done, the technical presentation you will be doing it, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Good, good, good. Rahul, you have any questions on this?
No, sir. It's all fine.
So you got the clarity, right, on this
Yes,
plan,
yes.
development plan. Great.
Yeah, correct.
So thanks for coming to this session, Rahul. So I'll
Yes.
close this now. I'll come back to your regular Skype call. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Shiva.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.